intro today. Breaking news. Iran has killed American, Canadian, Israeli VTuber Taku. 2 million views, 64,000 likes. I got a lot of messages saying, yo, this real? Yes. No, it is not real. I am, in fact, still alive. Oh, this is Nux's ghost just coming here to whisper in your ear for the rest of eternity. So tragic. It's insane. The dead man speaks. Now, the thing that I like about this so much is that I am incredibly famous. All of the Hassan fan grifters from around the internet have come together to threaten my life on a daily basis. It's pretty crazy, and these tweets go super viral. Iran's military, we didn't initiate it. This guy, slime out Taku for me, gang. 3 million views, 80,000 likes. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. Frick yeah, baby. It's coming at Taku, retweeting the Iranian military, Jaden Animations and I. Oh, he's still alive? July 6, 2025. TikTok! Iranian military's coming. It's pretty great. I do appreciate the free advertisement. That's 78,000 likes. People have also been reacting to this and losing their shit. It's insane.
Like, oh, dude, it's so hard to look at me. It's coming at Taku. Jada Animations and I. Oh, he's still alive. July 6th, 2025.
Dude, look how shocked he is. Dude, the funny thing is, everyone thinks they have unhinged haters, but no one, I repeat, no one has unhinged haters like me. There's something about me that just draws out the crazies, and I have to say, it makes me proud. Definitely subscribe to see more retards losing their shit.
TikTok, 74,000 views.
Likes. Not views.
74,000 likes?
Yeah, look at that reaction. That's what I'm talking about. That is a normal reaction, bro.
And them bombing Iran. How does this have...
Actually, that's Iran bombing Israel, but whatever.
74,000 likes.
And look at the comments. Please.
Me and Jaden Animations got blown up by Iran.
Holy. The Piker retards.
These people are so fucking pathetic. 15 times streamer found...
True! Well, it's crazy. And they try so hard. I do appreciate them attempting so hard. It's very fun. It's very cool. It's because they can't attack you personally. Yeah, no, they can't attack me personally. Hassan doesn't want to mention my name. He'd rather get all of his proxy fucks doing all the dirty work for him. Kind of like how Iran has been operating over the last couple of years. So it's pretty funny that today, Hassan Piker is 600% fucked. We have reached the 600% mark. Hassan is simping for Iran and directly wants them to have nuclear weapons. I repeat, Hassan Piker wants Iran, a terrorist state that chants death to America, to have nuclear weapons. N-word, nuclear. So let's lock in, boys and girls, because we have a crazy episode for you today. First thing I wanted to show you, of course, the Pike tards, the Hassan Pike tards, praying for my downfall. Unfortunately, I will be disappointing them again today. And let's talk about some retards. So first, I wanted to just show you this clip, because this is insane. While Iran was bombing Israel, okay? They were bombing Israel civilians. This is what Hassan said about Asmongold.
I don't like that you're trying to, go to Tel Aviv, dude. They don't got free speech there. Go to Israel. You seem to love Israel. Why don't you go live there?
He might be one of the most certifiably fucking assholes on the planet. This dude's evil, bro. It's crazy. How are you this cartoonishly evil? Anyway, it's pretty great. You gotta love that. It's pretty awesome. So anywho, I wanted to give you some backup, a little bit of history. I gotta give you the full context before I watch you literal videos of Hassan begging Iran to nuke Tel Aviv. He basically says that with as much, word twisting as possible to not actually sound like a terrorist. So lock in, boys and girls. This one's going to be a fucking wild ride. So it all started 62 days ago when Donald Trump tweeted, Trump just tweeted this yesterday. 2 months ago, I gave Iran a 60-day ultimatum to make a deal. They should have done it. Today is day 61. I told them what to do, but they couldn't get there. Now, perhaps a second chance. Now, the fucking hilarious thing is, 60 days, Trump gives Iran a 60-day deadline. He says, war is going to happen, all right? War is going to happen unless you make a deal in the next 60 days. Iran is like, fuck you, this isn't happening. Day 61, all their nuclear sites get bombed, and it's very, very good for literally everyone on the planet, including Iranians. Do you have any idea how many people messaged me that were Iranian viewers of mine that specifically said, thank you so much for covering this? We can't tweet publicly on the defense of the West, or we might get executed. That's actual messages that I have received. So, anywho, that's pretty fucking crazy. We gotta move on, because Trump has been absolutely cooking. Trump says this. A lot of people in the United States, they're like big peace guys. They say, we are pro-peace. We don't want war. We're pro-peace every time. Constant peace. That's what they want. All right, so look at this shit. President Trump says, for the people that say they want peace, if you can't have peace if Iran has a nuclear weapon. So for all those wonderful people who don't want to do anything about Iran having a nuclear weapon, that's not peace. And he's completely correct, because obviously you don't fucking want a terrorist country to have a nuclear weapon. You don't want a regime that is responsible for every terrorist organization crawling around the Middle East to have a nuclear weapon. Because, duh, it's the most obvious shit in the universe. Even people like Macron, who's the president of France, and he hates Israel, bro. Constantly he's shitting on Israel. But even he's like, yeah, no, we condemn the nuclear program, obviously. France reaffirms Israel's right to defend itself. You don't understand. If you have a country that directly says we want to get nukes because we want to nuke your country, no shit, you should stop them from getting nukes. Like, it's like unbelievable. It's actually insane. Carney, the Prime Minister of Canada, this guy is also relatively anti-Israel guy. He's constantly talking about how Israel bad, Israel extensive, Israel extreme, Israel bad. This dude says also Iran's nuclear program has been a long cause of grave concern, and its missile attacks across Israel threaten regional peace. All right, essentially, Canada reaffirms Israel's right to defend itself to ensure security. Like, it's kind of hilarious. It's kind of hilarious because even all the people that hate Israel are like, holy fuck, it's incredible that Iran is not going to be getting nukes. Hot take, terrorists shouldn't have nukes. No! What? No! So, anyway, I wanted to give you a couple of pretty crazy background before we jump into Hassan's incredibly bad coverage glazing terrorists again. So, just to remind you, Iran ordered operatives to assassinate Trump before the election because they were so scared of this man. And rightfully so, because this guy is president right now, and it's pretty fucking bad for these fuckers. It's not very good. Now, this is Fox News. Fox News made a pretty insane take. Definitely listen to this.
Ask yourself, as an American, ask yourself a simple question. How many missiles would it take from a foreign country and their proxies that would be fired into the USA, into our country, killing American citizens, terrorizing American citizens, before you would want that country stopped? Would it be one missile? What's your threshold? 2 missiles?
A great question.
Missiles,
great question.
10,000? You know, what would you...
Because you have to realize, Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis, they're all proxies of Iran, okay? That's tens of thousands of missiles fired by Iran's people into a country that they're like, yo, why are you... And Hassan is so mad that Israel is bombing their nuclear power plants. Like, what the fuck? Are you actually retarded?
What do you expect American leaders to do if this country, the #1 state sponsor of terror, was, according to reports, a month to 6 months away from arming themselves with a nuclear weapon?
Yeah, no shit.
As they have been firing these tens of thousands of missiles throughout the years.
Yeah, an incredibly just basic opinion. Obviously, you don't want a country that says death to Israel, death to America. We are bombing you with everything we got to have nukes. Because obviously, no fucking shit. This is the most basic, lukewarm take on the planet. Unless you're a terrorist supporter like Hassan Piker. So this, I wanted to give you some inside info. This is Patrick Bet-David. He is Iranian. He is not a pro-Israel guy in general. He is an Iranian guy. And this is what he had to say about Iran getting bombed. I want you to get all of the different perspectives you possibly can, okay? Before we look at the retard Hassan Piker crying that nuclear sites got hit.
As a person that was born in Iran, yes, I can't stand this regime. Yes, they've called the only thing that's been persistent and consistent is the following. When the Shah was in Iran,
the Shah was the regime before the current one.
Israel already exists.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Well, yes and yes.
Was Israel causing chaos? Was there war in the Middle East? Let me say this one more time. When Iran was ran by the Shah, what year was the Shah of Iran? What years did he run Iran?
41 to 79.
53 through 79.
Okay,
No,
53
not
is the
true.
oil consortium, so 54 is the oil consortium.
41
to 79.
Yeah.
Because he started at 21 years old, young man, right? 41 to 79. When
Yeah.
did Israel become a nation?
48. Yeah.
Okay, so check this out. Why is it that between 48 to 79, while the Shah was the king of Iran, running Iran, why is it for 31 years there is no major war in the Middle East?
So for 31 years, Iran and Israel didn't beef with each other. Weird.
So to the point, I want to say it's all Israel's fault. How come there wasn't that in Iran for 31 years? I'm curious.
That's
Answer
a good
that
point.
question for me.
That's a good point, yeah.
And why is it from 79, when the mullahs, the Hezbollahs, the IRGC, all these guys, the Khomeinis, all of them took over, why has there been chaos in the Middle East since 79? Whose fault is that?
Wow.
America's been consistent. Yes, I know America wanted the oil from Iran. And yes, I know UK wanted it and MI6 and CIA and all this stuff. And yes, I also am aware that the Shah didn't trust Israel. The Shah didn't trust, what they were doing with media and finance and the ambition and the level and the control and the influence and all that stuff. He knew what was going on there. He wanted to compete with them. He didn't see himself as a victim. It's like, we're going to be doing the same thing. And they're like, wait a minute, this guy's too ambitious and he thinks he can go up against all of us. Let's take this guy out. We need chaos in the Middle East. Oh, shit. Even Israel being involved, let's just say for Iran and the Shah fallen, there is chaos now in the Middle East. On who, though? Who did that? So yeah, for me, the most consistent thing behind the chaos in the Middle East has been Iran.
Yeah, and this is coming from a guy literally from Iran. Okay, this guy, who is not a pro-Israel guy, is like, yeah, Iran is definitely the guy that fucking causes all the chaos in the Middle East. They sponsor all the terrorist organizations. They are constantly trying to get nukes to bomb America and Israel. They say it themselves. It's absolutely insanity. So, like, that's his take, all right? I want you to understand. I want you to understand a little bit of history, a little bit of situations that have been going on. This is Trump made a statement to CNN. This might be one of the most diabolical statements I've ever heard in my entire life. All right, so if you thought Trump was kind of a base before, you are going to lose your shit.
And then he said they, meaning Iran, should now come to the table to make a deal before it's too late. And then he said something really noteworthy. He said, the people I was dealing with are dead, the hardliners.
Yeah, so all the generals are wiped out on day one in Iran. All the generals, they're gone.
To which I just wanted to underscore, so what you're saying is Israel has now killed the people who you were dealing with, and he said very sarcastically, they didn't die of the flu.
Bro.
They didn't die of COVID.
That is diabolical. Diabolical. He's like, all the fucking people, they're all dead. How did they die, Mr. President? Well, they didn't die of COVID. Holy fucking shit, that's crazy. Anyway, so obviously Trump is, he's pretty satisfied with this shit. I mean, I think that everyone agrees that no one wants American soldiers to actually go to war. Obviously, no one wants America to get involved. I don't want America to get involved either. I really would like this to just end with, the Iranian people kind of taking back their country from these fucking losers in the government right now and demilitarize and denuclearize the country. I think that's exactly what I think everybody wants, actually. Yes. And then you can be like, yo, Israel, very cool for bombing them. Don't get us involved. Moving on. So, anywho, of course, Hassan losing his absolute shit. It's pretty great. Israel attacks regional power during nuclear negotiations. Dude, I want you to remember this tweet because he contradicts this tweet 5,000 times. Because Trump gave them a 60-day deadline, and it's been 61 days. Amidst a genocide, of course, on a captive population that was started by, let me just remind you, Hamas, who is, by the way, a proxy of Iran, bombing Yemen. That's because Yemen's been bombing them, once again, because the Houthis in Yemen are a proxy of Iran and Lebanon, because Hezbollah in Lebanon is a terrorist organization that is a proxy of Iran. Like, it's insane. It's crazy. It's absolute fucking, it's wild. It's wild. I'm going to save this tweet for later because I'm telling you it is going to be super relevant very soon. So I wanted to give you some updates. So this is the Iranian military. Unlike Zionist terrorists hiding in shelters, Iranians confident in God's will and their country's air defense capabilities were calmly brewing fresh wood fire tea under air fire, preparing for the operations. All right, so this is like, it's a little propaganda piece showing people outside. Maybe that's because Israel is directly targeting generals. Maybe this is like anti-propaganda, right? Like, you realize this is the opposite of propaganda. It means that the civilians in Iran are not fucking terrified that they're gonna get bombed. So, like, actual retards. Now, this is my favorite propaganda piece that came out of Iran. All right, so this is For those of you that need the full context, Israel wiped out a lot of Iranians' nuclear sites and missile facilities. Iran retaliated with waves, hundreds of missiles at a time at civilian areas. All right, this is an apartment building. All right, this is one of the apartment buildings that was actually hit by Iranian missiles. And this is the craziest shit in the world. This is the propaganda that Iran released after they struck a residential apartment building. All right, are you ready? No one's falling for this. Who is falling? No one is falling for this. Oh my god, bro, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen. Literally no one is falling for this. They're like, yes, obviously all the residential apartment buildings are full of fucking fighter jets. Yes, that's why they attacked it, right? It doesn't even fit in the fucking building, in the actual schematic. Right, of course, obviously, this is classic apartment building. You ready for the best part? All right, so this apartment building obviously has a fucking ICBM in it, right? Obviously, of course. Right, as you can see, there is you can't even make this shit up. Obviously, beneath this apartment building, there is a Imperial cruiser from Star Wars. Right, yes. Yeah, of course. It's just, oh no, this is the, yeah. No! Of course, this is why they're attacking random cities in Tel Aviv, random apartment buildings. This is why this is why it's happening. As you can see, beneath these apartments, there is an Imperial space cruiser from the Galactic Empire. Of course, you see, no, this is not a parody. This is not a parody. This was actually used as propaganda. It's like, dog, like, are you really serious? Like, this is crazy. Bro, the Jews have been cooking. Iran attacked a residential complex in Tel Aviv. After cheering the attacks on civilians, they shifted the narrative and released this video claiming that Israel stores F-35 in residential towers, as well as Imperial cruisers. Yeah, so this is the craziest shit I've ever seen in my entire life. This is, no one's ever expected this. Obviously, people, like, so this guy is he's one of the, like, propagandist people. Breaking. Iran targeted infrastructure and buildings in Tel Aviv used by Israel to store F-35s and submarines. And it's like, what the fuck? Yeah, of course, yes, obviously, Israel is definitely putting a fucking Imperial cruiser beneath apartment buildings. An Imperial Star Destroyer, yes. Of course, the Imperial Star Destroyer is actually under this residential building, obviously. Now, they kept posting shit like this. Iran shot down the first F-35 in history, flown by a woman, an Israeli, and it's like, oh, that's tragic. But it turns out that image is actually an unexperimental F-35 Lightning II fighter jet crashed in the United States in May 2024. Yeah, so obviously that didn't work. Now, Destiny, known for being something of a political mastermind, had this to say.
How does nobody die from missile strikes?
All right, so the question is, why aren't more Israelis dying of missile strikes?
So this is insane. This is insanely crazy. But in Israel, one of the things that they do, since they're attacked by people so much, is they actually take a lot of the building material that they have and actually build shelters for their citizens, so that when they're incoming attacks, the citizens don't get immediately fucking killed. The reason why they do this is because Israel has not learned the language of the West, and they are losers that are trying to minimize the amount of civilian deaths, as opposed to Hamas, who are Giga Chad-based gods who try to maximize civilian deaths, so that they can take videos and run around screaming when children are being killed, so that people like Hassan can amplify the propaganda. How does nobody die?
Wow, it's just as easy as that. It's as easy as that. So true, so real. Unlike the Giga Chad people in Hamas that use it for propaganda. So true. Now, anywho, you get all sorts of people losing their mind. I'm not dying for Israel, bitch. The Iranian military is getting its ass beat by a country with the GDP of Maryland. Ain't no one asking you to do shit. So true. Watching the fucking pro-Islamist extremist people in America yelling and screaming that Israel's dragging them into a war. Bro, what are you talking about? You ain't going anywhere. You can sit your fat fuck in front of your Netflix. None of this shit's happening. Calm down. Bro, this is gonna last a week, okay? Hopefully less, ideally. And hopefully it ends with Iran, current regime, no longer in power, and all these fucking dipshits with their nuclear bullshit absolutely dying. Like, no more of that. Dude, so this is another guy, the Iron Dome doesn't work, you know, basically celebrating over the fact that a residential Israeli building in Tel Aviv was bombed, which is, it's an ironic text, the Iron Dome doesn't work, because this is after the Iron Dome stopped 99% of the missiles that flew in. Kind of funny that happened. So dude, and the propaganda is going overtime, and Hassan repeats these talking points, right? The footage that no one will publish. Israeli air defense systems are firing from densely populated areas in Tel Aviv. Who's really using civilians as human shields? As you can see, this is a missile flying from... Look at that. Look at that, bro. Look. A missile literally flying from a residential area. Wow. you motherfucker. It's an Israel air defense system. This is literally a missile that's used to take out missiles flying in. So obviously it's in a residential area, because if you fucking bomb a residential area, the residential area has missile defense systems. What the fuck are you talking about? Human shields? What the shit is happening over here? This is the craziest shit in the universe. Like, how do these people operate with so few brain cells? So anyway, this is someone from Iran originally. I've been trying to reach out to my parents since 10 hours ago. Even their landline doesn't work because the Iranian military apparently shut down all phones and internet in Iran so that their people can't like coordinate in any way. I'm hearing that the regime started killing civilians and are blaming it on Israel. Please pray for my family, as they've been a target of the regime since 1979. That's wild. Don't know. Obviously, I don't know what's happening. However, that would be fucking horrible if that was true. Very, very unbelievably sad and tragic shit. The funny thing is, though, you know, they shut down their internet in Iran. Elon Musk gave them Starlink. Elon Musk's like, oh, you want to shut down their internet so they can't communicate with each other? No problem. And he activates the fucking satellite. And now they have internet. So, hey, things happen, I guess. Israel's trying to stop a regime whose slogan is death to America from obtaining nukes, and Americans are mad about it. Now, don't worry, guys. We're about to introduce you an American that's mad about it. I'm going to introduce you to Hassan Diddy Bin Laden Piker. So this is another Iran propaganda video. Dude, it's a video game. It's literally a video game. It's literally a video game, bro. It's literally a video game. Their propaganda videos are actual video game footage. Like I don't even know, man. Like this is a level of retardation that's actually painful. So you might recognize this guy. He is in charge of Saudi Arabia right now. This dude is the dude that Trump just had a meeting with. So I wanted to see what this guy, the guy in Saudi Arabia, had to say about the regime in Iran before we watch Hassan glaze them.
But I've seen that you called the Ayatollah Khamenei the new Hitler of the Middle East.
Absolutely.
So this guy, all right, this dude, the chief of Saudi Arabia, okay, calls the chief of Iran the new Hitler. All right.
Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. What year did you say this was from? So this is 2018. I think this will really, 2019, sorry. I think this will really help frame the show today. Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman talking about what the Ayatollah's intentions are. And this is why you can see a new Middle East is on the horizon, because we've basically taken out the really bad actor here. Listen to this.
Iran is not a rival to Saudi Arabia. Its army is not among the top 5 armies in the Muslim world. The Saudi economy is larger than the Iranian economy.
Dude has to flex a little bit. Bro has to flex.
Iran is far from...
Yeah, I give you all the context before we rip into this retard.
...being equal to Saudi Arabia.
But I've seen that you called the Ayatollah Khamenei the new Hitler of the Middle East.
Absolutely.
Why?
Because he wants to expand.
Oh!
He wants to create his own project in the Middle East, very much like Hitler, who wanted to expand at the time. Many countries around the world and in Europe did not realize how dangerous Hitler was until what happened. I don't want to see the same events happening in the Middle East.
Does Saudi Arabia need nuclear weapons to counter Iran?
Saudi Arabia does not want to acquire any nuclear bomb. But without a doubt, if Iran developed a nuclear bomb, we will follow suit as soon as possible.
So yeah, so you gotta realize, by getting rid of Iran's nuclear sites, you are also stopping Saudi Arabia from developing nukes and actually getting us to World War III. A lot of the fucking warmongers and peacemongers out there are literally sitting there and shitting themselves, saying that, oh my god, World War III is starting. Chill out, gamers. Chill out. This is preventing World War III.
Okay, so this is about 7 years ago. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Saudi Arabia is perfect, and they have their own issues with the strain of Wahhabism that radicalizes all sorts of people, but they have started to moderate. And if you remember, about a week before October 7th, 2023, what was all of the talk all over the world? It was that Saudi Arabia and Israel were about to normalize, and Iran saw that.
Yep.
And then I think you can directly connect that to the events of October 7th.
Because they saw that Israel was making peace with Saudi Arabia, and they're like, holy shit, we need our proxies and Hamas to start some shit. Pretty weird, huh?
Which, by the way, Biden had just released. Remember that non-fungible money that we had given back to the mullahs? So there's something there. But the point here is that even if the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, he's not saying, oh, Khomeini is Hitler because he doesn't like the Jews, right? Like, put the Jews aside for a sec. He's saying he's Hitler because Hitler wanted to expand, right? He wanted greater Germany and greater. That has been the goal, too, of Iran, which is why they've put an army like Hezbollah in Lebanon, et cetera, et cetera. So putting aside Israel and the Jews for a second, the Saudis did not want this either. And if the Iranians were to get a nuclear bomb, it starts a crazed nuclear race. Most people think that Israel has nukes. It's not a declared situation, but most people think they have it. But no one thinks Israel's threatening anyone with nukes. It's purely deterrence. But if the Iranians were to get the bomb, while they're saying we're going to blow Israel off the map, well, then the Saudis might be like, we're in some deep doo-doo too, and then we have to get it too. So this is all very...
Because no one, the funny thing is about Muslim extremists, the only people that Muslim extremists hate more than Christians and Jews are other branches of Muslim extremists. So now that we have the full context, I need to show you Hassan Piker's coverage of this shit, because I think it's a pretty basic coverage. Except, of course, he sides with the people that want to get nukes. I mean, how do you fucking do this every time? How are you always on the side of the fucking terrorists every time? All right, so get ready, boys and girls. I of course, watched this beforehand. We're not going to be watching the whole thing. I am skipping to his most bullshit moments.
Get ahead of the commodities or futures. Just so you're aware, they waited until right after the post-market close. That's what someone in the chat was saying as well.
So he starts off with all these conspiracy theories. All right, so obviously Israel hit them at a time where it wouldn't hit the stock market too much.
Normally, under other circumstances, if it was another country, I would say, like, there's no way, and it's just a coincidence.
Right.
But Israel is so fucking lasered on American politics and whatever the fuck's going on in America. Like, they will use uncertainty or moments of panic in American discourse as an opportunity to shelter themselves and will...
Ready?
Like, they are super dialed in.
Yeah, so the reason why Israel is stopping Iran from getting nuclear weapons is because there are riots in Los Angeles. Like, you can't be this fucking stupid. You've got to be fucking kidding me. Like, what are you talking about? Like, you've got to be absolutely brain dead if you think this makes any sense at all.
At a time when there's growing instability in the United States of America.
You are the growing instability! You go to these protests and riots! Two government representatives were just assassinated by some leftist freak in Minnesota. Dude, you are the instability, bro.
There's too many different things to hyper focus on in day-to-day American existence.
Yes. Americans are there's so much to focus on. There's protests here, there's political assassinations there, and Israel's like, yes, because America's busy, we're gonna bomb Iran's nukes? To think that, Trump basically gave them the green light to do it after 60 days? How stupid do you have to be to have this take?
I feel like Israel could have...
Yes, Israel is sneakily going around America's back by doing this with full support of America.
I've seen this as a unique opportunity to strike, especially as it's... the Iran denuclearization agreements with the maximalist position that the Trump administration pushed forward was seemingly going nowhere. The only reason why I'm shocked that they did it now...
now there's a reason why he's shocked. Are you ready?
Feeling that they would do it sometime before Sunday was because of Trump's military parade on Saturday. I know that sounds really stupid.
He's saying that he surprised Israel is attacking Iran on Friday because Trump has a parade on Saturday. So why would Israel rain on Trump's parade by bombing Iran now? Like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, how are you this stupid? How are you this retarded? Oh my God.
But Trump is really stupid. He is exactly the type of guy. He's exactly the type of guy that would get mad at his birthday parade getting up by a ally. But also, once again, Israel is an extension of America.
Of course, Israel is just an extension of America. Obviously, it's the same exact thing. Yes.
Nothing Israel does, I think, is considered on its own, independently from American, without American supervision. Oh yeah, this looks like a targeted assassination.
All right, so dude, now he moves on to the targeted assassinations. Get ready to lose your mind.
Trump is convening a cabinet-level meeting as Israel launched what it called preemptive strikes against Iran. A White House official and two sources familiar with plans told me and Kylie Atwood the meeting was planned before the strike, the sources said. The meeting was expected to focus on U.S. response to developing events in Iran. Trump was seen leaving the congressional picnic at the White House shortly after 8 p.m. The White House declined to comment. Times of Israel correspondent with the IDF talking points. The IDF confirms it has launched an aerial campaign against Iran's nuclear program.
Nice.
Dozens of targets across Iran related to the nuclear program and other military facilities are being struck by the Israeli Air Forces. The operation is dubbed Strength of a Lion. The IDF says Iran has enough enriched uranium to build several bombs within days.
Are you ready for the next Hasan bullshit conspiracy theory? Are you ready?
Within days. Oh my God. Since like the 90s, Iran is 3 seconds to midnight from building a nuclear weapon. They have enriched uranium. They are literally 1 day out. Sirens that sounded across Israel.
So that's his conspiracy theory. He says, nope, it's not happening. They're never getting, it's never happening. They're never getting nukes. Come on, chill out. They're not getting nukes. It's all a hoax. They invented the nukes. So, first of all, if they weren't actually making nukes, why didn't they make a deal with Trump when Trump said don't make nukes? Trump literally said, do not make nukes and everything will be fine. We'll be allies. We'll be buddies. And they're like, no, we are making nukes. All right, so that's first. Second, if you ask the AI, which of course you don't want to trust the AI, obviously. Why would you ever trust an AI, obviously? If you ask the AI, the nuclear enrichment program in Iran since November 2024 has reached 60%. All right. So, of course, you could say, hey, listen, maybe the AI is controlled by the Jews. We don't know this. But you know what we do know? If you look up anything about, Iran and their nuclear program and what the UN had to say about this, Iran vows to ramp up enrichment. All right, this was 2 days ago. Watchdog finds Iran failing to meet nuclear obligations 2 days ago. UN nuclear watchdog board finds Iran not complying with obligations. This is from Al Jazeera. This is literally from a Qatar propaganda network. Qatar propaganda is announcing that Iran is not complying with their obligations. New York Times. Super lefties, by the way. Iran is breaking the world rules on the activity. This is 2 days ago. This is right before Israel decided to attack them. All right, so now that we've confirmed that Hassan is in fact retarded, I'm glad we got this moment. So of course he has like this whole little like hoax thing. He's like, yeah, it's obviously a hoax. Duh, obviously bullshit, hoax, crazy hoax. What a hoax, what a hoax. The hoax is crazy. They're never getting nukes. It's all a joke. Holy fucking shit. You gotta be like a special level of retarded. Anyway.
Building in Tehran.
So this is him showing Israel attacking a building.
Was torn in half as a result of Israeli missile strike. No word on the casualties yet. This is a direct attack at civilians.
So he's retarded also, because obviously it is not a direct attack at civilians. They attacked generals. They attacked generals and nuclear scientists. Like, this is crazy.
Elant News says among the targets of the Israeli attacks in Iran are senior Iranian figures within the Iranian regime. They struck Tehran in a densely populated civilian area.
Look how he tries so hard to twist it. Densely populated civilian area.
And clearly, I mean, they used some imprecise and some more precise weapons.
Some imprecise and some more precise weapons. All right, I'll just show you what he means by that. Actually, I think you'll find that interesting. So as you can see, this is where an Israeli missile directly flew through the wall of a building into the bedroom of a general to kill him. This is the most precise fucking shit you will ever see in your entire life. This might be the most precise way to take out a terrorist leader from across 2,000 miles of all time ever. This is the most precise shit in the universe. How on earth could you say, I'm sure 10,000 Palestinian children were in this bedroom. Like, this is crazy. Now, in case you were curious, this is Iran attacking Israel today. All right, so this is Israel attacking Iran yesterday, and this is Iran attacking Israel today. Okay, this is not precise. These are all residential houses. They did not even aim for fucking generals or military bases or anything. They just directly attack civilians. Like, this is the most obvious example of bullshit I've ever seen in my life. Like, how could you possibly do this? Like, you've got to be an actual terrorist sympathizer to say that what Israel did is not precise, but this is precise.
Targeting capabilities. Here is one of the examples of the more precise ones that, like...
Oh, this is a more precise one. The actual fucking retard. What are you talking about? More precise one? They managed to hit one apartment. What are you talking about?
Blows up an entire apartment... an apartment, just the apartment itself. Well, obviously very dangerous for everyone else involved.
Oh, it's dangerous for everybody else. Yeah, it's dangerous for everybody else. Yes, absolutely. Remember, Hasan still supports the Hamas terrorists that murdered 1,300 Israelis on October 7th, okay? At dancing at parties, right? They stormed in and they murdered people in parties. He says there are baby settlers and Israeli babies are valid military targets. And now he's worried for the neighbors who, by the way, were not killed in this attack because it's probably dangerous for the neighbors. The neighbors of a general trying to make nuclear weapons to bomb Israel plus America. What are you talking about? He's a demon. He's a demon.
As well.
Oh, God.
And the reality of the matter is, if Iran were to do the exact same thing, think about it.
All right, now look at this. Wait for this fucking snake to start talking.
Imagine Iran attacking Tel Aviv and blowing up an entire apartment in the
Don't have to imagine they did that today.
middle of Tel Aviv.
All right, so you do realize that Iran's proxies, Hamas, did way worse than that, right? You realize that Hamas killed 1,300 people, innocent people, just randomly because they wanted to just murder people, right? And they're proxies of Iran that get weapons and training from Iran, right? You realize the Houthis have been bombing Israel constantly and they're a proxy of Iran. And that Hezbollah has been doing this constantly for the last 20 years and they're also a proxy of Iran. You realize that Iran fired 300 missiles into Israel civilian cities last year. Like, why is he trying to do this flip shit? Like, imagine if Iran would have precisely managed to take out a military base. Imagine if Iran would have precisely taken out a military base with almost no civilian casualties. Yeah, I don't think people would be freaking out that much, to be honest.
And killing an Israeli official and their families. Like,
last I checked, there aren't Israeli officials that are currently building nuclear weapons to directly bomb America. Last I checked.
Imagine what that would look like. Imagine what kind of chaos would unfold in that.
He's trying so hard to monger to the side of the terrorists. It's like insane.
That process. And of course, as always,
Of course.
as is the case when the manufacturing consent machine has to kick in the high gear.
I love how he calls it manufacturing consent. Like every single Western country doesn't want Iran to have nuclear weapons. Like this is literally not even remotely controversial. Okay, if you are a guy that's living in the Western world, you don't want Iran to have nukes.
Notice how Naftali Bennett is on. Immediately, we get like whether Israel is attacked or whether Israel is doing the attacking, and in usual instances is Israel doing the attacking, we immediately go to an Israeli official for the contextualization of why this attack was a necessity and why this attack was actually at the behest of defending Israel.
Look how hard he's trying to say that this is like some sort of out of the blue attack that had literally, it came from nowhere. He's like, it's crazy to watch this because this is a country directly saying they want to get nukes to bomb Israel. And Israel bombs nuclear facilities. How the fuck are you going to somehow twist this into like a completely unprovoked attack that no one would have ever possibly seen coming? It's truly a tragedy.
One of the targets, performance versus nuclear scientists.
Jim, what do you make sure?
Well, it's significant that they are striking.
Dude, look at him fucking orgasming over the tragedy that is nuclear scientists illegally making nuclear weapons. Yeah.
Dude, they love killing nuclear scientists.
Oh,
Israel's
don't be a nuclear scientist then next time.
favorite thing to do is kill Iranian academics.
Academics! Yeah, they're going after teachers now, I'm sure, probably.
After killing children, that's Israel's second favorite thing to do.
Oh, yes. Let's vilify every person in Israel. Let's
assassinate Iranian nuclear scientists.
Yes.
Breaking, Israel has detected missile launches from Iran. There's chatters in Tehran and Iran saying that they're hearing that there is potentially some retaliatory strikes coming. War with Iran, the defense establishment detects launches towards Israel. Explosions reported in Natanz and Fordo, Iran's major nuclear... Wait, really? So they're
Wait, really? They're actually targeting nuclear facilities?
They're targeting nuclear facilities and nuclear scientists and potentially like military command.
Yeah.
Is this very different?
Pretty goated, huh? Pretty cool. Pretty based.
From previous missile exchanges between the two? I mean, it's larger. Israel has never directly struck Iran with this level of intensity since this last skirmish, since like post October 7. They have struck Iran before. But
notice how he leaves out the fact that Iran fired 300 missiles into Israel civilian cities.
This is the largest premeditated escalation coming from Israel
Trump gave them 60 days, okay? What are we talking about?
Beyond like striking an Iranian embassy compound in Syria. Senior Israeli official, high probability that Iran's chief of staff was eliminated. Israel has also canceled school and all non-essential activity, knowing full well that they were going to hit Iran and then Iran was going to retaliate.
He's trying everything in his power to be like, oh man, they hit Iran, and now innocent Israelis are going to be retaliated upon. Well, are you really going to make believe that you care about innocent Israelis after you chanted from the river to the sea for the last 3 years?
And now, more American tax dollars. American tax dollars.
He never cared about American tax dollars. This is not something he ever fucking cared about.
Iran. American munitions struck Iran. Now, more American tax dollars and American defensive capabilities will defend Israel because Iran will understandably retaliate. So,
understandably, remember, Hassan is so happy, so thrilled that Iran is going to be shooting missiles at civilians in Israel. He is gargling at the idea.
That's where we're at. Secretary Rubio is too busy gargling.
Someone in my chat just said, how is this legal over there? Is it legal to support terrorist groups this openly in the United States? Sorry, I don't know. Welcome to my life!
Benjamin Netanyahu and the entire Israeli war cabinet's dick, saying, tonight Israel took unilateral action against Iran. We are not involved in strikes against Iran, and our top priority is protecting American forces in the region. Israel advised us that they believe this action was necessary for its self-defense. President Trump and the administration have taken all necessary steps to protect our forces and remain in close contact with our regional partners. Let me be clear. Iran should not target U.S. interests or personnel. Bullshit. Israel.
All right, dude, I want you to see this part because he directly does a hypocrisy. Are you ready to see some of the wildest shit you've ever seen?
Israel does not do anything without America's go-ahead.
All right, so this is him saying, Israel does not do anything without America's go-ahead. Let's look at one of his tweets. Israel attacks regional power during U.S. nuclear negotiations. Playing both sides, eh? Really playing both sides. He's like, everything Israel does is only because America told them to do it. But also, Israel is doing this without America's permission. Dude, he's trying so fucking hard. He's trying so hard. Someone needs to give this guy an award. Like an actual award for the most retarded political commentator of all time.
Israel is America's weapon to wield in the region.
Obviously.
Make no mistake.
No mistake.
This is peaceful dawn. This is peaceful Donnie.
Yes! Yes! Stopping a terrorist state from getting nuclear weapons is good for peace. It's fucking retarded, bro. Dude, the UN announced this. Every single site, Al Jazeera, bro. Qatar propaganda announced that they broke their fucking sanctions on nukes.
Saying, go ahead, strike Iran. Maybe it'll give us a better position in the nuclear agreement.
He is so mad that terrorists don't have nukes.
Amen. It is bullshit. America offers additional targeting capabilities that Israel might not have. America already gives the weapons. America already gives the munitions. And America's defensive shield against Iranian retaliation is what gives Israel the confidence to behave this way and put the lives of their entire population in danger.
Yes, because now he cares about the entire Israeli population after he literally called for them to all get murdered for the last 2 years. Bro has been chanting from the river to the sea, get rid of all the Jews, for the last 2 years. And now he cares about the Israeli population, about, oh, Iran is going to retaliate or something. That's crazy.
So for all the Israeli chatters in here right now...
Bro, you have no Israeli chatters. I don't want to be rude here, bro. You have no Israeli chatters.
Remember that. I'm sure you're already aware of it, but remember that. Tell your parents, tell your neighbors.
Tell your parents and tell your neighbors that because of what happened in Israel, you will not be getting nuked by Iran anytime soon. Yeah. Tell your parents and tell your neighbors that because of Trump and because of what Israel just did, you will not be turned into nuclear ash because of a terrorist regime with nuclear weapons. Yes.
It is Benjamin Netanyahu and the Israeli government's
so they're the people that we're supposed to thank for this?
Own personal ambition and America's
personal ambition? It's like he totally forgot about the whole bombing specifically nuclear sites. Dude, it literally said you are bombing nuclear sites. They said it. He says it. And then he hits with, oh yeah, it's ambitions.
Go ahead. And America's targeting that has allowed this to happen. So whatever kind of retaliation.
Why is he talking about how it was allowed to happen like it's the biggest tragedy of all time? Like, bro, You're the enemy, dog.
That comes from Iran as an act of understandable self-defense, it will literally happen because America and the Israeli government does not give a about anyone.
Yeah, by stopping terrorists from getting nukes, it just proves that they don't give a fuck about anyone.
Clearly, America cares more about its own soldiers, at least, and its own like embassy staffers and shit, because they knew this was going to happen. Clearly, they've been planning this. This kind of military action doesn't happen overnight.
Right? This doesn't happen overnight. Obviously, they were planning this. Also, Israel attacks regional power during negotiations. How are you this retarded, bro? How do you play both sides so consistently? How are you so consistently evil?
It obviously is planned ahead of time. That's precisely the reason why, suspiciously, America was moving its embassy personnel away.
Like, it's crazy. It's insane that he does this shit all the time.
From Kuwait, Bahrain, and also moving his troop positions away.
Yeah, because obviously they knew this was going to happen. Obviously, this was an incredibly planned attack. Trump gave them a 60-day limit. They failed to meet that 60-day limit. They enriched uranium illegally. They were a terrorist state that was planning on literally getting nuclear weapons, that was chanting death to Israel, death to America. Yeah, they bombed nuclear sites. Why are you flipping the fuck out, dude?
Israel is...
Unless, of course, you want a terrorist to have nuclear weapons.
Doing this with America's go-ahead, with America's knowledge. Make no mistake.
Make no mistake, even though he tweets that they did this in middle of talks.
Don't let anybody tell you, like, oh, Israel controls America. That's not the truth. Israel's not behaving.
Yeah, we know Israel doesn't control America. Only some people think that.
As a separate entity here. Operation expected, according to Manny Fabian, the Israeli military expects this operation against Iran's nuclear program and long-range missile capabilities to last for several days. The IDF is preparing for heavy fire from Iran in response to its airstrikes tonight. At the end of the operation, there will be no nuclear threat. We are in the window of strategic opportunities. We have to reach the point of no return, and there is no choice but to act now, IDF officials say. It's suicidal.
It's suicidal to stop terrorists from getting nukes. Dude, what is happening?
It's just suicide. Israel is a suicidal, genocidal, fascist country.
By stopping terrorists from getting nuclear weapons. Okay.
Fascism is a death cult. Israel will literally bring everyone down with it. Either it will
What is he even fucking talking about? What's he even talking? Yeah. Like, the craziest thing is, like, and he supports Islamist, extremist, terrorist organizations, okay? That literally do suicidal fascism all the time. What are you talking about?
Genocide in the region directed by the American government, or it will bring everyone down with it. Truly a cancerous government.
It's wild to see him just keep repeating the same
CNN
shit.
Also confirming, Oren Lieberman reports that his sources say this is not going to be a one-day attack as suspected the last several days. First statement from the Trump admin emphasized the lack of U.S. involvement. America's such pussy cowards, by the way.
He's such a loser. Yeah, for sure.
The American government are such cowardly little dogs, for the record.
Cowardly
they are
dogs.
so weak.
Weak and
They're
cowardly.
such pieces of shit. First, they attack some of the most vulnerable internally.
By deporting illegal immigrants. All right, so if America's deporting illegal immigrants, dude, this is amazing.
Some of the most vulnerable citizens in this country. Some of the most
illegal immigrants. They're not citizens, bro.
Most vulnerable people living on U.S. soil.
Notice how he changed that up. Look at this shit one more time.
Some of the most vulnerable citizens in this country.
All right, but they're not actually really in danger. The citizens of the country are not in danger. So watch them switch it up.
The most vulnerable people living on U.S. soil.
Yeah, living on U.S. soil. Not legally, but they're living there.
Undocumented migrants. They try to...
Undocumented migrants. Illegal immigrants.
Sick the goddamn military on people who understandably don't want their neighbors to be black bagged and kidnapped.
They're not getting kidnapped. They're being deported because they're not legal in the country. And also, you do realize that these people that are getting the military activated on them is because they're burning cop cars and assaulting cops and looting stores, right?
Taken away from their families, away from their places of business. Then they fucking turn around and do this pussy ass bullshit like, oh, we're not involved. What do you mean we're not involved?
By bombing terrorists' nuclear sites.
Of course we're involved. There is no world where Israel operates like this. Because guess what? If you didn't like what Israel was doing, you would tell them to stop. You would come out. You wouldn't even have to come out. You would just make one phone call and be like, what are you talking about? You're going to strike Iran. Get the fuck out of here.
Why? It's crazy. Trump has been saying for the last 6 months, we will strike Iran if they don't make a deal. He's been saying it for 6 months, bro. For 6 months. Literally for 6 months. This dude is calling the government pussies for bombing nuclear sites controlled by terrorists, all right? And at the same time, he's sitting in his socialist mansion preaching socialism.
If you are Iran in the situation, and you have seen, as every other regional actor has seen, that Israel only responds to violent retaliation.
And this is him basically co-signing and condoning violent retaliation.
That actually causes them to second guess how restrained they must be and how little they must do in retaliation. You have to you have to retaliate.
You have to retaliate, guys. Terrorists, I know that they bombed your nuclear sites, but you have to retaliate. You have to retaliate.
Like, from their perspective, they leave no choice but violent retaliation.
And retaliation, bomb civilians, let's do it. That's my communist with a Gucci bag talking.
Explain why the U.S. is so insistent on claiming not to be involved. Feels like unnecessary PR when you make the point that U.S. is, of course, involved. The reason why they're saying that is because I think they don't want Iran to attack American bases and, like, I don't know.
Based. I think if Israel could get away with doing this and neutralizing the threat without America's involvement, I think that would be way better. If they could just get away with that shit, fuck yeah, dude. Look, Americans don't want to go to war, but I don't think Americans want a terrorist country to have nuclear bombs either.
Hurt America's logistical capabilities in the region, or if Iran does attack American bases, then America can say, see, they attacked us without us attacking them. And then
he's trying so hard to come up with reasons why Iran should be attacking civilians and Americans. This dude, he's a demon.
If Iran does actually end up attacking American bases, they go, oh, well, we have no choice but to join the war.
Yes, correct. If Iran starts bombing American bases, they should retaliate. Dude, what do you do with this guy? What do you do with him? The fucking Hassan Piker 4D chess move. What America actually wants by saying don't attack us is they want them to attack us so they could murder our people so we can retaliate. It's all part of the plan. Motherfucker, if Iran attacks Americans, America should retaliate. What are you talking about? What is even going on?
They want the attack, but they know the voting populace doesn't want here at home. It's performative for both defense and electoral reasons. Yeah, that's the other side of it as well. Yeah. Because I believe there is a... It is one of the least favorable positions that any party could engage in. Americans, widely at least,
don't want to go to war.
This, what is it? The military task force, the Middle Eastern task force kicks into high gear and starts manufacturing consent.
What the fuck manufacturing consent is he talking about? They literally always said to bomb the nuclear sites. Trump has always been saying this.
The American appetite for going to war with Iran is unimaginably low.
Yeah, no one wants to go to war with Iran, obviously. What are you talking about? They just don't want them to have nuclear weapons. I'm like actually in shock that he's even trying this shit.
Unimaginably low. Yeah, for understandable reasons. Why the f would anybody want to go and die for Israel's genocidal campaign?
No one wants to die for Israel. Israelis don't all want to die for Israel, obviously. However, if Iran gets nukes, everyone dies, retard. This is a situation that Americans are not being mobilized. Americans are not joining the military. Israel is neutralizing a threat, primarily a threat towards Israel, but a threat worldwide. Dude, you want Iran to get nukes and then Saudi Arabia to get nukes and Iran chant death to America? You don't know what this happens. Iran literally gives weapons to terrorist organizations like the Houthis, Hezbollah, Hamas. What's stopping them from giving nuclear weapons to some terrorist proxy somewhere in bumfuck nowhere? Like, no one wants this shit. Are you actually retarded?
You out of your mind? Would you be down for that?
No! No one wants to go to war, obviously. But you also don't want to live in a world where you have a fucking country that's a terrorist country that literally chants death to America to have nuclear weapons. Oh my God. Anyway, then he reacts to this Netanyahu speech, which I looked at. And I'm going to show you some nuggets. Obviously, I'm not going to show you the entire speech because he basically does a lot of yeah. But this one's a banger.
Years, Iran has produced enough highly enriched uranium for 9 atom bombs. 9
atom bombs. So actually, this was proven by the United Nations. Hilarious. What a clown show. Imagine bombing a nuclear facility of a country that wants your annihilation. Cowards. Pussies. Anyway, moving to the next banger.
Attack on Israeli soil justifies Israel preemptively, and by their own estimation, preemptively bombing Tehran. Imagine
they didn't bomb Tehran. They precisely bombed literal generals and terrorists precisely in Tehran. Now watch his analogy.
If Iran understandably, looking at what Israel has done so far in the region,
right, understandably, in the region, of course, obviously,
to every single country, including Iran, turned around and said, listen,
every single country, you know, except for Saudi Arabia.
We have to do a preemptive strike on Knesset members in the middle of Tel Aviv. It doesn't matter how many people we kill, because what are you going to do? We don't want Israel's doing a genocide right now.
This is always this thing. It's like, it's totally reasonable for Iran to just bomb Tel Aviv civilians because of a genocide and stuff.
We don't want that genocide to come to our backyard as well. And they just glassed Tel Aviv.
So he is saying, this is the analogy he's making. But what if Iran glassed Tel Aviv? What the fuck are you talking about? They bomb nuclear facilities, bro. They bomb nuclear facilities, and some generals in the most precise attack ever in the history of military operations. Is this an equivalent to glassing Tel Aviv? Is that really? What are you doing?
Obviously, everyone would be disturbed by this, right? Everyone would be righteously angry.
They'd be righteously angry if they just out of nowhere decided to glass Tel Aviv. True.
About this unimaginable death and destruction.
Right.
But when Israel does it,
Did Israel do it? Did Israel glass Tehran? What the fuck are you talking about? Hassan is the only homosexual on Iran payroll. True. Dude, they didn't glass Tehran. They precisely bombed nuclear facilities. Well, what the fuck is happening?
Totally fine, you know?
Iran and its proxies try to encircle Israel with a ring of fire and to attack us with the horrible attack of October 7th.
There it is. He said, Holocaust, October 7, we have to do 1 million Holocausts to everyone around us now.
Is that really what's happening? 1 million Holocausts to everyone around them? Bro, what are you talking? They bomb nuclear facilities. Like, what are you fucking talking about? Yes, everyone remembers clearly when Hitler, got his soldiers to bomb the Jews' nuclear facilities in Auschwitz. Yeah, that's definitely what happened in the last Holocaust. Like, bro, what are you talking about? You realize October 7th was orchestrated by Iran. Iran and their proxies, which are Hamas, started October 7th. Yes, correct.
Our actions against Iran's proxy Hezbollah led to the establishment of a new government in Lebanon and the collapse of Assad's murderous regime in Syria.
He's not happy. He's not happy that Hezbollah was wiped out. Oh, he's so sad. They have his favorite flag, bro. They have his favorite flag. Of course he's upset.
Peoples of those two countries now have a chance for a different future, a better future. So too do the brave people of Iran. And I have a message for them. Our fight is not with you.
Is with your children. Our fight.
No, it's with the fucking murderous regime that 95% of Iran is against. Like, it's so ironic to me, right? Hassan is a socialist. He's a man for the people. 95% of Iran fucking hates the Iranian regime. They hate them. This is like, he yells about Trump being a fascist government. This is a fascist dictatorship. The people of Iran are charging in the streets, happy that this shit is happening. What are you saying?
Is with your children. We're gonna kill your children. You have babies.
Yes, look at a classic example of just murdering random children. Yes, a classic example of that. Yes, keep glazing your terror supporters.
And everyone knows Tehran has babies of Hamas and Hezbollah. Yeah, when he said that, by the way, he said this about the Palestinians too. He's like, our fight is not with you. Our fight is with Hamas. We all know.
Which is exactly why they did their best to not maximize civilian casualties. So true. Thank you, Hassan, for being on the side of justice. Yes, exactly true. Yeah. Except Hamas uses human shields, because they put their fucking missile facilities in hospitals and in nurseries, and their tunnels under hospitals and children's houses. All right, this motherfucker really is gonna sit on his fucking throne yelling about baby settlers in Israel being valid military targets and cry for the fucking Iranian regime guy who was wiped out in this apartment in a precise attack. What the fuck are you talking about, bro?
No, who the fight was with.
Remember, Iran calls Israel the small Satan. It calls America the great Satan. And this is why for decades.
Did you see that? Did you see that? Did you see that? Look at this. Look at this, bro.
The small Satan. It calls America the great Satan. And this is why for decades.
Bro, what the fuck? He's just casually agreeing with the fucking death to America talking points. Dude, leave. Why are you in America? Leave. Go away. Why are you here, bro? Oh, God. Iran says America's the great Satan, and Hassan's like, true. One more time for people in the back.
The small Satan. It calls America the great Satan. And this is why for decades...
Holy fuck. I do not want to live in the same country as this guy. Insanity.
It's led millions in the chance of death to Israel and death to America.
All right. I want to bet in the chat. Bet in the chat. Yeah, this franchise is not clickbait. He is 600% fucked. I do not clickbait. I'm telling you, there is so much here. All right, now before we go further, do you think, and definitely let me know, guess in the chat, will Hassan defend Iran's chanting of death to America? He's an American citizen, all right? He's an American citizen, all right? He's an American citizen. So do you think Hassan will defend the death to America chants?
I know this is a tough concept to grasp for Americans living in the comfort of their own suburbs, but close your eyes for a moment and imagine the most powerful force on the planet. It would have to be like an alien force with superior technology at this point, because there's no more powerful force in America. Just consistently destroying, consistently wiping out other countries in the region, and then, or even using like Canada to, with regular frequency, blow up parts of America. You have no retaliation. What would you think about that alien force? You would think that they are the greatest evil of all time. You would unite in arms. You would say death to that alien force every day. Jacobin writer.
The answer is yes. He does defend the death to America chants with possibly the worst analogy of all time. America said, guys, this is, first of all, wiping out other countries in the region? You fucking retarded. Second of all, motherfucker, they weren't gonna do anything. They just said, don't get nukes. They're like, yo, do not get nuclear weapons and we will leave you the fuck alone. And they're like, fuck you, America, we are getting nuclear weapons. Dude, this guy is justifying the death to America chants. What are you gonna do about this, bro? Like, how is this guy not labeled as a terrorist at this point? Like, what are we talking about? Like, this is fucking terrorist propaganda.
Branko says Israel's completely out of control.
Yeah, I don't care. There's one more clip from this video, and then there's his upcoming video where he glazes Iran bombing civilians. It's pretty goated. It's pretty goated. So yeah, so this is his next banger. Check this out.
To not make up his own mind. The likelihood is increasing that Israel eliminated the top echelon of the Iranian military. Mossad is also believed to have carried out a number of operations in Iran, says Amit Segal from N12 News.
All right.
Second rain of Israeli missiles are now flying over Iraq, Iran, and about to be hit again, but with way more bombs, according to Middle East Observer.
So sad. No, not the nuclear facilities. The nuclear facilities have wives and children.
Will Iran declare war? I don't know. But the reality of the matter is, if this is a final push, and it seems like it could be, then like Iran is backed into a corner because,
bro, Iran literally had the option to make a deal until now, and they still have the option to make a deal. America said to Iran, Trump said, if you want to make a deal about no nukes, this ends now. And Iran shut off communications with America and said there will be no deal. Why are you running defense for terrorists?
Because if it doesn't retaliate at all, or
right, so now he's basically saying, please retaliate, Iran. Please kill some civilians.
Its retaliation is restrained, and clearly its retaliations in the past were restrained. That kind of demonstration of restraint did not win them any favors with America. They also saw the United...
Yeah, they shouldn't even be restrained, he says. Do not be restrained with your retaliation, Iran. Do not be restrained.
States of America literally over Hamas in the
and now he's mad that America fucked over Hamas, a terrorist organization. Oh man, I can't believe America fucked over Hamas.
Process of the Gulf arrangements that Trump was making while he was in the region, while he was doing his Middle Eastern tour. They went to Hamas directly. They did a back channel agreement, sidestepping Israel. This showed a little bit of promise for incredibly desperate
terrorists
people at this point, that maybe Trump would be...
Desperate people? Bro, are you fucking talking about the Iranian nuclear facility desperate people? What, the poor Iranian generals making nuclear weapons? Are those the desperate people?
Reasonable enough to stop Israel if these forces were to show that they were willing to cooperate. They released Idan Alexander...
Look how sad he is that they released an American hostage.
Israeli-American soldier from the Israeli occupying force, a prisoner. prisoner of war.
He wasn't a prisoner of war. They kidnapped him on October 7th before there was a war. They just kidnapped a guy. All right. He's so mad that this American was freed from a Hamas dungeon.
With nothing in return.
Like, at least the terrorists should have made a good deal out of releasing a fucking captive that they kept in a dungeon for 2 years. Yeah, this guy, he's definitely fighting for the good of America, that's for sure. But anywho, I wanted to go to this next video, because this next video, if you can believe it, is worse.
There's a lot of backstory that I have to cover, but obviously
If you can believe it, his next video is even worse. This is when he's covering how Iran retaliated against Israel and blew up a couple of houses. I believe 3 people were killed. You know, civilians, because that's who they targeted. So, anywho, check this shit out, baby.
Medics in Tel Aviv, no injuries reported. That is expected.
In smaller.
Look how disappointed he is. So disappointed that there aren't enough casualties.
Facilities. So there are those precautions, there are those preparations, plans that have been in place for months, if not years. They keep being updated.
Yeah, now you gotta check this shit out, bro. There's no way you could run defense for this all the time.
Special report just started.
Uncertainty and certainly one.
God.
Right, so this is Iran missiles bombing a civilian city, and his response?
Damn, dude.
Damn! Woo! Yeah! That's just terrorists bombing that's just bombing a civilian city. Woohoo! Remember how you know, before he was saying that Israel was not being precise enough with their attacks, and this is him saying, damn, yeah, when they're just attacking random civilians.
The kids and possibly here. We thought maybe
right, well, moments ago, the skies of Tel Aviv.
Damn! Woo! All right, so anyway, I got to get to his actual reporting, his on-the-ground reporting of the matter, because this is when it gets pretty great.
There's a lot of backstory that I have to cover, but obviously the breaking story is happening at this very moment. Had to get into it immediately. But yes, moments ago, Iranian missiles were launched towards Israel.
There's a lot of backstory, like the whole, you know, Iran trying to get nuclear weapons and then refusing to agree with Trump about demilitarizing.
And from what I understand, multiple missiles have not been successfully intercepted. Remember, this is a multi-billion-dollar operation. You got Tamir interceptors that are for the smaller munitions, and you have the arrow systems in Israel as well. But then on top of that, you have anti-defense missile systems to protect Israel and Jordan. And
look how many anti-defense missiles. Look how many defense missile systems there are. Look how much shit is focused on protecting civilians. Wow.
You have the entirety of the American Central Command working actively in real time to stop all of these missiles from touching a hair on the head of anyone in Israel.
Did he just admit that he just wants random Israeli civilians to get bombed? Did he just say that? He's like, oh, they don't even want to touch the hairs on the head of the random citizens.
And even then, in spite of all of that, Iranian missiles have been able to penetrate into Tel Aviv, as you
look how happy and triumphant he is.
Have seen before, and they're still doing it. I mean, you can see it. Look, the ones that are flying from the ground are the interceptor missiles. They're anti-defense missile systems, and yet, in spite of that, the Iron Dome can be overwhelmed as the Iranian retaliation last time around showed. This seemingly, according to Elant News, who's in the chat already, appears to be in the vicinity of IDF headquarters.
It wasn't anywhere near any IDF headquarters. Like, what are you fucking talking about? It just bombed civilian houses. What are you saying?
Don't have enough information coming.
Oh, but don't worry, it was in the vicinity. It was in the vicinity.
Yet, obviously, Israel also has deep censorship laws.
Israel has deep censorship laws. You know, Iran shut off the internet and phone lines of their entire country. Okay? Israel has censorship laws, bro. You can't say the N-word in Israel. What are you talking about? What is happening?
I mean, even though they got hella smartphones out there, and there's
even though they have smartphones, right?
Like literally Israeli chatters in here who can just like confirm or deny what's going on. But I think last time when this happened, the Israeli military immediately applied censorship and tried to stop the information from coming out. Like
Dude, Iran literally shut off the phone lines of their country. What are you doing?
Confirming strike targets and whatnot. The reason why I'm mentioning this is because obviously in the interim, there is going to be some misinformation. There's going to be a lot of misinformation
that's true.
flying around as always. So be aware of that when you're bringing in information here and try to go after trusted resources. I suspect that Iran is not done yet. This barrage is just simple.
And that's true. And they fired another barrage, which also thankfully didn't... was mostly intercepted. However, tragically, that barrage also killed 3 people. I think three Muslims, actually. Israeli Muslims. Really tragic shit.
The first salvo, there will be more that comes. In terms of self-preservation, self-defense, and ensuring that they do not get completely eviscerated, I suspect that the Iranian government's calculation here is going to be part restrained, so not so aggressive that they actively try to take out like heads of state or anything.
They're trying their fucking best, bro. They fired like 1,000 missiles into Israel by now. With like 3 times they've shot waves, each wave 100 missiles. What are you talking about?
Like that, just like Israel itself.
Israel literally struck nuclear sites. What are you talking about?
Demonstrates some of that restraint.
Oh, look at all the restraint. Iran is doing a resistance. Look at all the restraint.
Comparison to how belligerent they are when they don't actually go after, heads of state and stuff like that, but they assassinated a big chunk of the military command. They assassinated some top military officials, some nuclear scientists.
Good shit.
In residential areas. I don't know.
In residential areas, bro. Dude, he tries so hard. He tries so hard. This is the residential area. I hate to show you this picture so many times. Dog, look at this. This went into the room. Bro, the windows haven't shattered in the other apartments. It didn't even shatter the windows. All right, this is when Iran hits. Okay, these are residential houses. All right, how could you possibly do this? It's like Iran fired towards Israeli defense sites. They fired towards Israeli defense sites. That's what Iran did. Anyway, Israel's firing into residential areas. Like, dude, how retarded do you think everyone is, man?
Know the exact number of casualties in Iran due to the Israeli strikes, but there was a relatively...
It was probably a genocide. Yeah, when they shot a missile directly into the guy's bedroom and blew him up and didn't even hurt his neighbors, they genocided that motherfucker.
Sophisticated infiltration campaign that Mossad had conducted, as far as I understand. This is not like glazed to Israel at all, but I think it also...
No, it's a little glazed. It's a little glazed. You can admit it.
Also shows a weakness within Iranian national security that directly stems from the resentment that the Iranian population, some in the Iranian population have.
Some in the Iranian population? Bro, 90% of the Iranian population fucking hate the dictators. Why are you glazing the dictators? He's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy watching this guy.
Towards this administration due to its fundamentalist attitudes, especially amongst the Iranian youth, and also the fact that the country is in turmoil economically, and it's much easier to basically purchase allegiances internally within Iran. The fact that Mossad was able to create a drone shot.
Watch the glazing. He keeps glazing Israel, trying his best to make Israel sound evil. He ends up glazing them instead. It's crazy how retarded this guy is.
Inside of Tehran,
right,
from what I understand. And then
and this is very similar to how Ukraine got drones into Russia, which was one of the most fucking bonkers, insanely cool military operations ever. Israel managed to get Mossad to create explosive drones in Iran. They manufactured drones in Iran.
Utilize those drones immediately to take out anti-air defense systems that Iran has, and then go after the missile salvo. Goes beyond the notion of Israel gets to do whatever it wants and can use overwhelming force because they're backed by the most powerful country on the planet.
They're taking out nuclear sites, bro. Don't cry too hard.
Obviously, that plays a major role. There are no repercussions for Israel, but...
They bombed nuclear sites! What do you mean, no repercussions? They just had 500 missiles flying at them. How is this happening?
No mistake. The very fact that they are able to build a drone facility, like a tiny drone facility, inside of Iranian national boundaries, implies that there are massive leaks within the IRGC, within the Iranian government, and that they can take advantage of the Iranian population's discontent to a certain degree.
So what he's basically saying is Israel is doing the thing that the actual Iranian citizens want to happen. by stopping a dictatorial regime hell-bent on gaining nuclear power. And that's somehow a bad thing. Bro, what the fuck is happening? How are you this retarded? Like, who made you like this?
Degree. So this is a major problem for Iranian sovereignty in general. This is a major problem for Iranian security. And I suspect that a big part of the reason why this is even taking place or even took place is because of that glaringly obvious weakness. One that I have even mentioned in the past.
He's even mentioned in the past how all of the Iranian citizens fucking hate the dictatorial regime that took over the country and turned them into a terrorist hive. So based of you, Hassan. Now, somehow, Hassan, unlike the Iranian civilians, Hassan does support those guys. Very cool. So, anyway, I think it's important to end this video off with one final meme, one final statement. I don't want you to ever forget this. Okay, I don't want you to ever fucking forget this moment. Literally, I don't want you to. This is Hassan defending the Death to America chant.
The small Satan. It calls America the great Satan. And this is why for decades.
And this is Hassan confirming that America is the great Satan.
It's led millions in the chants of death to Israel and death to America.
I know this is a tough
and this is gonna be Hassan defending the chant's death to America.
Concept to grasp for Americans living in the comfort of their own suburbs. But close your eyes for a moment and imagine the most powerful force on the planet. It would have to be like an alien force with superior technology at this point, because there's no more powerful force in America. Just consistently destroying, consistently wiping out other countries in the region, and then, or even using like Canada to, with regular frequency, blow up parts of America. You have no retaliation. What would you think about that alien force? You would think that they are the greatest evil of all time. You would unite in arms. You would say death to that alien force every day. Jacobin writer Branko says, Israel's completely out of control. This attack on Iran is coming while Israel is not just continuing a nearly 2-year-long genocide in Gaza.
Yeah, so remember, don't forget, he agrees that America is a great Satan, and he supports the chants, death to America. Fuck this guy. He's 600% fucked. How on earth do you manage to twist bombing nuclear facilities into fucking Holocaust 3? I don't know, but he managed to find a way. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you guys. This guy's evil. Stay weird, fam. Like, subscribe, and this video was streamed live on kick.com/Nuxanor. See you there. Stay weird, fam.